Hello everybody,
Hey, I'm Amy,
and I'm Alex,
and this is Roxy.
and Rusty, the Cybertruck, is right behind the camera. He's not gonna be the start of the episode today, and we travel 6 months out of the year in our Airstream being towed by
A Cybertruck.
Rusty, the Cybertruck.
Exactly.
And we try to bring you weekly content regarding how is life traveling,
Exactly. On the road.
and it has the ups
And the downs.
and it's not always easy.
No.
But it's fun because it's adventure. We're heading all the way to Florida. We're going to log about 15,000 miles with Rusty the Cybertruck. And we're gonna continue where we left you on episode 3, which if you haven't watched,
You need to watch it.
you need to watch it. Anyway, so here's what happened.
Yes, so we were previously boondocking at the Grand Canyon for 3 weeks.
For free.
Exactly. That's a big thing. For free.
I like free.
And Alex decided to be spontaneous and was like, I need to go to Tennessee for 3 nights to see properties there. So we found a campground. We were like, let's find a resort. Rusty will be able to charge.
Cybertruck.
I'll be able to have my long showers, and he can fly to Tennessee from Phoenix. It's about 85 miles from Payson, where we found this campground.
So, if you watch episode 3, you realize how wonderfully Rusty the Cybertruck towed this beautiful Airstream. No drama, perfect tow. It was about a 120-mile stretch, and we arrived at the campground, I think, with around 22%. So, we get there, Amy goes to check in.
I check in. It was already prepaid. We get to Rusty the Cybertruck. Then the guy on the golf cart comes to take us to our site, and then he informs us that, sorry, you're not allowed to charge your Cybertruck here at this campground.
So unfortunately, that was the first time that Rusty the Cybertruck got discriminated
Yes.
by the host.
Yes, it was not on their website at all, and before he booked us this campground, he looked, and on an EV form, this campground was showcasing they accept EV charging at their campground.
It's on PlugShare, and PlugShare is a website that EV owners can check out where they can charge their EVs. So the specific campground was actually listed
Yeah,
on PlugShare as...
a place you can go if you have an EV and you're camping.
Anyways, but we want to know your thoughts.
Yes.
Do you guys think that if you pay for 50 amps, you can use your 50 amps anyhow you like? For example, if I plug Rusty, the Cybertruck, onto the 50 amp outlet, obviously I will not be able to use my 50 amp power, electricity for the Airstream. So I'm not gonna run my heater, my AC, I'm not gonna be able to charge the house batteries, and in return, the Cybertruck will get the power to charge the battery. So I pay for my 50 amp. Do you guys think it's unfair to charge an EV or versus use the power anyhow you like it? Because in my opinion, if you pay for 50 amp, you pay for 50 amp. I think that one problem that exists when it comes on EV is all about education. For example, the Cybertruck has a 123 kilowatt hour battery, and usually when you get to a campground at around 20% or even 10%, you never want to charge the full battery pack. Remember, we discussed about that. You need to have an EV sitting at about 50-60% state of charge, right? So 50% out of 123 kilowatt hours, this is about 61 and a half. Usually those campgrounds, they get charged 8 cents per kilowatt hour by the electric provider. So that means that even if, let's say, we take 10 cents per kilowatt hour, which is way more than what they actually pay, for ease of math, if it's 10 cents per kilowatt hour to charge just 50% of the Cybertruck or any other EV, this is what? $5. $5. So the other part is, okay, we're gonna stay there for a week. How many miles are we gonna drive? Maybe 30 miles, 40 miles around town in Payson? I don't even think so. But let's assume we drive 30, 40 miles. Now, out of the $5 that the campground will be charged from the electric company, we're only gonna use $2.50. So, in other words, if you stay to a campground for like a week and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna charge my EV, it's only going to cost for the campground owner or the business maybe $4, maybe $5. So basically we pay for full hookups, and the campgrounds, as you guys know, are very, very expensive right now. Like,
they are.
We pay like $70 a night or even $60 a night. The specific campground was, I think was around
It's 56.
$56 a night. And we paid for a week about $415. So out of the $415 that we paid, $5 would cost the owner in order to put some power, some juice into the Cybertruck, so we don't have to go to the superchargers.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, the argument would be, well, the grid is not
Strong enough
to support it, which again, it's a myth. Now here's why. Because if you plug the Cybertruck specifically on a 50 amp, automatically the truck only uses 75% of the power goes in. So basically it goes from 50 amp, but the truck will only take 32. So you cannot even trip the breaker. If you actually have 50 amp and you run both ACs and maybe the water heater, you may actually trip the breaker. But anyways, even with the grid limitation, we give you 50 amp, you plug your Cybertruck, that's 70% out of the 50 amp. This is only 32 amps for like 10 hours. And that's gonna cost about $2.50. Even if we calculate at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, which in reality they only pay 6. So again, leave in the comments below, if you pay for 50 amp, should we use the 50 amp? Or
should you just
do whatever they dictate you to use? So this is what happened.
That is how we got welcomed into Payson. And the next day we had to leave at like 4 or 5 in the morning to get him to the airport.
And then what happened?
Well, I dropped him at the airport. His flight was supposed to leave at 9 in the morning. Roxy and I started doing our errands, which was a Costco haul, go and refill propane, and then charge Ruste because it was 85 miles to get to Phoenix from Payson, and then go back to the campground. I'm in Costco and I get a phone call. My flight has been canceled.
So flying to Tennessee, I had to go through Dallas and then from Dallas to Knoxville. And unfortunately, Dallas weather in Texas was pretty bad.
That day was pretty bad.
Flight was canceled.
Yes, and he ended up staying at the airport till like 4 or 5 o'clock. He was able to find another airliner to get him straight to Nashville instead of Knoxville, which was a direct flight.
But I had the best realtor.
Yeah, he did.
Seth.
Because I found him.
And I'm gonna leave his name on the description below because
If
he's
you are
awesome.
looking.
If you guys are looking to buy a house anywhere in Tennessee,
Him and his wife are amazing.
call Seth.
Yeah,
He's your guy.
they're really good.
Seth was very flexible. I give him a call like, Seth, I cannot make it to Knoxville. Is there anything we can do? Because Seth had lined up 16 properties that I had to see in 2.5 days. And I called Seth. Seth goes, 100%. I'll come and pick you up from Nashville if you can make it to Nashville.
Yeah, it's pretty far from Knoxville.
Pretty far, yeah. I think it's like 3.5 hours.
I don't know Tennessee that well yet, but yeah, something like that.
Seth was very flexible, and I booked a one-way flight from
Phoenix to Nashville.
And I made it that night.
Yep, pretty late at night too. He goes there, he sees 16 properties, and property number 5 you fell in love with.
It was the one.
It was.
Yep.
And he put an offer on it.
And it didn't get accepted. It was kind of hard, but I sweetened it up a little bit. So mission accomplished.
Yes.
But on the way back,
He had a delay on his flight coming back from Knoxville.
And when I got in the airplane, being delayed,
Yeah, midair, you ended up having to turn around.
midair, captain goes on the intercom. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a mechanical issue. And I'm like, damn it, we're gonna stay up here all day because of that mechanical problem. Wait to see. He makes a U-turn, and here we go back into Knoxville, as you guys can see. So I get back to Knoxville.
They then had him going to another connector in Philadelphia. That got delayed, and then that got canceled. And then he got a connection to Charlotte, but that kept getting delayed. But if he wouldn't get to Charlotte at a certain point, he would miss that connection from Charlotte to Phoenix.
Long story short,
He spent the night in Charlotte.
That flight was cancelled.
But you spent the night in Charlotte, and
Oh,
that's
yes,
where
I do. I
that's
actually
where
made it to Charlotte.
He actually made episode 3
That's where we made episode 3. Working at night
at the airport.
at the airport, actually very, very productive, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Had a very nice big area. It was pretty cool.
Instead of
I will never
sleeping.
forget.
Yeah.
We get back into the campground that discriminated Rusty the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And
We stayed there for one night with you, because by the time with all your delays, you only had like a night or two left at that campground, which wasn't really a resort, I would say. I will also have to note on this. That was the worst place I have ever had to do laundry, at the laundromat in Payson. Oh my goodness. But yes, we left there, and now we are in another area in Arizona boondocking for free.
and we end up getting a house. We're in escrow.
But
Things are moving forward.
when he came back from Tennessee, you put the house in Nevada on the market.
So I decided to sell the house in Nevada.
Yeah.
That's the best financial decision. Putting the house on the market, selling it, getting the money, and dumping it on Tesla stock.
You're going to put it on the Tesla stock? I thought you were going to put it on Tesla stock.
Well, I have inside information about Tesla stock.
Oh, do you?
So we're here not only to tell you all the stories, but I like also talking about investments because I get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
What do you do from the road? How do you trade? Trading is passion of mine, and I like to preach specifically on investing. Like the best thing to do is you buy and hold forever companies that you think are going to change the world. So imagine if you bought Microsoft like literally 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Apple, Google. See where I'm going on that?
I do.
So we're gonna talk about that on a separate episode because I love talking about stocks, investing, building portfolios that can return tremendous amount of money.
I mean, you saw in episode 3, Roxy was doing her trading with his glasses on.
And the main reason that we're selling the house in Lake Las Vegas is because we literally want to dump the money on the stock market, specifically Tesla. But again, we're going to just explain you why I think on the next episode.
Probably would be
Let's
a good
not tire everybody. I mean, we got to leave you with a little bit of suspense here. But yeah, call us crazy.
Us.
Selling the house to buy Tesla stock. So we're gonna have haters and we have lovers. This is gonna be interesting. Very, very controversial.
Yeah, it is, but we're doing what we feel like is going to be the best thing for us. What's going to make the best financial decision in your, what you have planned out. And Tennessee had checked every single box of what we've been looking for.
So why do we like Tennessee? Why specifically Tennessee? I'll give you my reasons, but I would like Amy to speak first about it.
Okay, so we've gone there, I would probably say the last 3 seasons we have spent time in Tennessee. Nashville, other parts of Tennessee, and whenever we've been there, it has been a very nice experience. Like the city, Nashville, for instance. It's a beautiful city. The people there are nice. It's like a little mini area where if you love country music, definitely go there. They have good food. people do drink and stuff. We don't drink, but we just like the atmosphere just to visit for the evening for like a date night type of thing. And then just the weather hasn't been too crazy for us when we've been there. We have not been there when it's super humid in the summer.
I would say though that I'm originally from Greece, and Tennessee weather really reminds me of maybe not really Mediterranean weather. It's more like a subtropical weather, but it's very close, I would say, to weather in Greece when it comes to like the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You have the winter, the fall, and you see all the colors on the trees changing every season, which is amazing.
We don't have that in Nevada currently.
However, we're still gonna be traveling.
Yes, we're not going to stop our travels. We're still going to travel. It actually may be, instead of 5 to 6 months, maybe 4 months out of the year. But we're still traveling. And even though we are now going to be in the process of relocating from Nevada to Tennessee, we have a plan and we are not stopping our travels at all. We may have to change where we don't go to certain parts due to the transition, but you're still going to see us going to the air show, to international Airstream event, to Florida, Walt Disney World, to Texas.
You're gonna see
all of that.
Ruste, the Cybertruck.
Yes.
Struggling to go through hills. So for you people who don't like Teslas or EVs or hate Cybertrucks,
It's a love-hate thing.
you know, it may not make it, and
Right.
we may have to, you know, drop the Airstream and
Like Roxy and I did get dropped in episode 2. No.
But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool, very adventurous, and finally, one of the nice things I love about the new house, and that was one of the one of the big reasons I really wanted to be in a house. We've been living in a townhome for the past like 14 years.
It's been a long time.
The problem I'm having is I cannot have my Airstream parked on my property.
No.
And always my dream was to have like 3, 4, 5 acres and be able to have a barn and then space for the Airstream. And I can have guests over and they can stay in the Airstream and we can just have all the space we need without having any drama from neighbors or HOA, like, oh, you cannot have the Airstream here.
Yeah.
So this is one of the main reasons that we love to have finally some space so we can kind of, you know, spread a little
Just have
bit.
land and Roxy can be a dog.
And Roxy can be a dog.
Like a real farm dog.
Because she's a farm dog.
Yeah, she has heard cows without knowing what they were prior in many seasons ago.
So this is a story. This is what happened.
We'll take you along when we move too. You'll see clips of us moving, and we're still going to try to produce, even though we'll be probably 2 weeks super busy with the move, we are still going to try to have kind of like a episode of, not a big huge episode, but an episode of we are moving, showing us hauling from Nevada to Tennessee, because I'm going to be going to Nevada, packing everything up. He's going to head with Roxy to Tennessee, and we're going to meet. And it's going to be an adventure for sure that we can't wait.
Probably the ugliest part of the year for a while. You know, the winter.
And this is the house from the common area with the river. Just pretty cool.
You know, they controls the flow of the water from here. Can you imagine when the water spill, how beautiful this would be?
So this is actually outside of the subdivision, and still the speed limit I think is 25 or 30 miles an hour. You can still walk here. And this, again, it's out of the subdivision, but it's beautiful and it's quiet. And look around you.
There's a red part.
Beautiful rolling hills.
You can't see it.
There are some cows taking baths on the left.
Flapping their tails.
There you go. Cows taking a bath. Beautiful. And that's your walk path. I don't know if that beats like Las Vegas. I think it does. Because when you walk, you're gonna have these views. Oh, look at those beautiful.
I'm starting to feel like I
rolling
want to buy a
hills.
house out here too. Again, it's happening again.
Look at this place. Yeah.
It's only 15 minutes.
So this is literally country. It's not mountain retreat. It's not a cabin with views. This is country. And here we are. That's the house. Here, what is that? Turkey.
That's turkey.
Turkey. Hey.
Girl.
We made it back to the campsite, I should say, after a very beautiful hike. We have amazing neighbors. Traveling for like 5 months out of the year in Airstream can also be hard. For example, the past 3 days?
Yes. Oh my gosh. The weather here, it had like at times 50 plus mile an hour winds. It was not like warm, it was cold, and it was just nonstop. It made the whole Airstream feel like there was an earthquake at times.
Basically, we're like in an 80 square feet space. I think it's about 80. Correct me if I'm wrong. 28 foot Airstream, how many square feet is it? I say 80 maybe?
Not sure. But it's not a big space.
All windows closed, doors closed, winds 50 miles an hour, stuck inside
3 days
for 3
straight.
days. Thank goodness we have Ruste, the Cybertruck,
Yeah.
powering everything up.
Yep.
So TVs, Starlink,
We're still able to work from our laptops
Very-
because we do work on the road.
very productive. And to me, productivity is really what counts. Like, I can be stuck in a place for days. Just give me internet and a computer, and I'll make it
Yeah,
happen.
he's happy, and his coffee. He has to have his coffee.
It's the most legal, perfect
Yeah, he
drug
cannot
I
have.
cannot go without.
No, and I even got him a coffee cup that says, "I drink coffee for your protection," and it fits him very well.
Well, and it's about to get some caffeine boost after this too, but anyway, so
Yes.
we're gonna take you with us, show you all the deals again. Cybertruck, Airstream,
Yep. Show you
Work-
this reality. This
work
is our
from
lifestyle.
the road. I'm gonna show you how we make money on the stock market, building portfolios, even trading options. I'm even gonna tell them why I dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into Tesla stock, and tell you what type of legal inside information I have about Tesla.
Yes, and he's going to talk about that on the next episode, and I will also share with you about I'm really into skincare and awareness, and we will in future episodes go more in depth on that as well.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the next episode and keep following and join us next time.
Imagine if Tesla at the next episode is like $500 a share, and I'm saying all of this right now when it's still in the low 300s, and it was like in the 200s last week. But anyways,
Yes.
next episode we're gonna tell you all the details.
So stay tuned and follow along.
We love you! Hello!
I'm Alex.
Hello!
I'm Amy.
And I'm Amy.
And I'm Alex.
And this
That's
is
right.
Rox.
Exactly.
Alright,
Hey, I'm Amy.
this is Amy.
All this time we had to prove that we could stand here too. All the nights spent pushing through, fight for all we had to lose. Reaching out for something to pull us up to level ground. Oh, I can see